Namaste. Hello everyone. My name is Drashti Gardaria and I'm faculty at ICT Marwadi University. Welcome you all to the video lecture series of DBMS Practical. In today's video lecture, we will cover the cursor. Okay, till now we have seen what is TCL, what is DCL, data control language. With the help of the user privileges, we are setting different privileges with the help of grant, and we can remove privileges with the help of revoke. So that is DCL. In today's lecture, we will cover the what is cursor and how the cursor will help. Cursor is a part of your SQL language where we are using a cursor based language to perform a specific task. But primary SQL is made for a set based query language. You can say whatever we have done till now, all are considered as a set based languages designed to handle large group of row at a one go. When we are using the simple commands, what we are doing is we are performing a single operation in a one go. Fine. So cursor is not work as a normal SQL query. It will work row by row. So whatever we are doing, it will take one value from a result set, and from that result set they will fetch the value in a temporary variable, and in that temporary variable they check the condition, and based on that they take the operations and whatever we want to do based on that value that each row have. Fine. So what is the main reason why we are learning the cursor is used mostly when we want to perform some complex task on each row value. Fine. One other advantage is when you want to do the sequential dependency, consider your fifth row value are having specific value, and that you also have to consider when you are to work on a sixth row value. So there is a sequential dependency at the time you use the cursor for perform this type of task. Fine. So sequential dependency can be handled by the cursor types of operation. One more thing that you can do is you can invoke a specific store procedure based on the row value. If some row value is typical value, then you want to perform some specific store procedure. Otherwise, you want to perform to a call different store procedure. That type of thing you can perform with the help of your cursor. One more thing, that is data integrity and the custom auditing. Consider you want to perform some specific cleaning of or data validation or some form related task. That thing is possible because of the cursor. So there are some of the application that you can use in a cursor. The last but the not a least, what is memory management are also one important aspect when you why you are using the cursor. Consider you are having the client server application, so every time it is not possible to fetch every data from the server to the client. So okay, because it become a memory heavy operation. So what you can do, you can perform a task on a server and only, and it will be performed with the help of cursor. Fine. So that are some of the application of the cursor. Let me compare the cursor based operation and the set based operation. When we use the set based operation, when we use the cursor based operation, consider you want to perform some complex operation based on or row value. At the time you use the cursor base, otherwise you use the set base, because the set base is a faster but the cursor base is a slower. Why? Because it is extra burden to the system, and our cursor cannot be used directly. We require some you can say store procedure or a function or a trigger in which you can call your cursor or you can define your cursor. All things need to have a parent of a store procedure, function or a trigger to use the cursor. Fine. So that's why it is a processor heavy task. So it is avoidable if it can be possible with the help of set base, prefer the set base, but it is not possible with the set base, then you use the cursor base operation. Fine. Now one more thing that you can understand here is how the cursor will be used. So you want to use a cursor in a four different stages. First stage is declare a cursor. Okay. When you are declaring a cursor, it means you are associating a specific select query with that cursor. So whenever you want to work with that cursor, what you can do, you are fetching a value from a select query, and that value would be copied in your temporary variable. Fine. So while we are declaring a cursor, you are also declaring some local variable. You are also declaring that cursor name. Also you are declaring a handler. Now this is very important, please pay attention to this. Handler is nothing but a value that will give you a notification that your result set is over. Because consider you have a five rows in your result set. In this select query, you are setting the select star from store limit 5. So what you are doing is you are selecting a top 5 row. So what is this handler will do? At the end of the fifth row is been scanned, your handler notify that this is the end of your result set. So we already operate all the record. So now you need required to leave this loop, yes or no? So that is possible because we are setting the handler who will make sure that we are not at the end of our result, yes or no? So this thing we will declare first. Okay, this is the first thing that we will do. We declare a local variable, we declare our cursor. When I say declare a cursor means you are associating a specific select query with your cursor. Fine. and you declare your handler. And in that handler, you setting a not found condition that I will show you in my workbench. Fine. So these three things you have to do. Then after, what you can do, you can open means you are executing that cursor. So whatever the result set come with the help of that select query will be loaded in our result set, or you can say your memory. It will be loaded in your memory. When you use the open keyword with that cursor name, what will happen? The memory will get the result set. Okay. Now that is the third stage, that is fetch. Now when you use the fetch keyword, at the time what will happen? uh, it will retrieve a data from your current row, and it will jump to the next row in a next iteration. So fetch is inside your loop structure. Okay. And every time you are fetching, you are also checking that handler is not reaching to the end or not. If handler say not found condition, you need to leave this loop, because you don't have anything to process. And if you don't use the handler to leave from this loop, what will happen? They will throw you the error. Okay. So this is very important. Whenever you are working with the cursor, you require a handler to leave that specific fetch condition or fetch specific loop in which you are doing the fetch operation. Fine. And after doing all these things, you require to close that cursor. Close means that whatever we are using that memory to use that cursor, or a local variable, or that memory will be released when you use the word close cursor name. Fine. This is a basic introduction about the cursor. Let me jump to my workbench. Consider I want to create one table in which I have 1 to 10 data. Okay. And with the help of cursor, I want to copy that value to the different table, odd in a one table and even numbers in a different table. How can you do this thing? That is been, you can also use the different query, but in this our operation, we use the cursor to perform this task. Fine. Let me start with the table. Yes. Let me check. I have one table, select star from taste. Do I have some value or not? Okay. So these are the value that we are having, total 20 value. Fine. So this 20 value need to be divided, one with the odd, one with the even. So let me give the name. Let me create two table first. Create table odd. And in this I want to store a integer value, yes or no? Okay. And one more table for even, and I integer. Fine. Let me run this two line. Okay. Odd table is created, even table is also created. Now what you have to do is you need to create a store procedure, because without the store procedure you cannot call this thing, yes or no? So please remember how you are creating a procedure. This is the name, whatever the name you want to provide. I want to set data or something like that. Fine. And here I am not passing any data, argument, so I'm keeping it right now blank. And you also aware that whenever we are using the procedure, we require a delimiter. Yes. Now you aware what is the role of delimiter. Delimiter will help you to set the end character. So here our procedure is end, so I require a double dollar to end this thing, and this is the default delimiter, that is semicolon, that we want to set. Fine. Okay. So in a set data, what you want to do? You want to create new cursor. Yes. So let me declare first of all one variable vi. Let me call it vi, and let me call one more. Declare cursor. What name you want to provide? Taste cursor. And here as select star from taste. This is your table name, yes or no? Now here it is important, please use the variable name first and then your type. Declare taste cursor for select star from a taste. Now one more thing that you want to declare, that is handler, and here it is a continue handler. Set continue handler not found set done is equal to how can you understand this thing? Okay, here what we are doing is we are setting a one flag value. Fine. Let me call it done value as a, by default it is false, but okay, they require integer. Okay. What will happen here is I am setting one variable which value will be depend upon. Done is the one type of flag which role is to identify that we reach the end of the result set or not. Fine. So by default value is false, means we are not reached to the end, fine. But whenever we reach, we will do the flag value as a true, fine. Okay, here I declare the continue flag. Now what we want to do, after doing all these things, I want to open means execute our test cursor. This is the name of my cursor. Okay, this is the end of our open cursor. Now what you want to do, open test cursor, then after you want to set a new loop. So that this is the name of the loop I want to set. Otherwise you can set whatever you want to. This is my read loop, you can set a fetch loop, whatever, fine. And here loop will end with the help of end loop. Here you require your cursor name, because in a single procedure you might have different cursors. So which cursor value you want to fetch? Here, as I use fetch test cursor into vid, and we already know that this statement only return one column. So this is the one column and this is the one variable. So the whatever the value that we are getting are fetched here, fine. Now here when we are ending the loop, we also need to mention which loop we want to end. Our loop name is this, so write down the loop name also. Okay, fine. After we are doing this, what will happen? Here vid have a first record. What was the first record value is, I think 1, fine. So 1 value is inside this thing, and before I what will happen, if vi is my variable I, fine. I is your column name. Variable I, if variable I is divided by, it is the way we can check it is odd or even, yes or no. If it is 0, what do you mean by this? If we divide by 2 and it is equal to 0, it is a even number. So if this is the scenario, what we want to do, we want to insert that data into which table? It is my even table. Insert into table name. This is the values that I want to add. My value is this, fine. And after this, if it is not a case, then I want to insert that in a odd table, fine. Sorry, fine. This is the way we are doing, and at the end we want to end the if. Let me use the beautification. This is the end of if. Should I run this line? What do you think? Here one thing we will miss, that is what? Here we also need to check inside this loop that if we, let me add one space so that you understand that we are inside our one loop, and my loop name is read loop, fine. So inside this loop we also need to check one thing. What was the thing that we need to check is, before we are fetching, every time whenever we are fetching, we also check the value of a done. How can you check? If okay, here we need to set a true, that declare continue handler for not found, set done is equal to true. Means if you found that we are not having any data, we need to set the done as a true. By default, here let me set a default value as a false. Okay, ideally the done is false, but if this is the scenario, we will get a true as a done as a true. So if done, then if it is done is equal to the true, then what we want to do, we want to leave, what you want to leave, you want to leave the read loop, fine. And at the end, what you want, we want to clear this, fine. Should I execute this line? If there is some problem, it will show you in our result set. Let me trace this thing. The whole procedure will be executed. There are a error, which error shows, okay, the same name procedure we already have. So what we want to do, we want to drop this procedure first. Okay, we successfully deleted the procedure. As we are already having the set data as one procedure, they are not allowing to recreate. So what we can do, we drop the previous procedure, and let me execute this task. Okay, it is green tick, means it is successfully created, and let me call this procedure. And execute. Okay, it is also green tick, so hope we have value in our even table. Yes, we successfully created our cursor, as well as we get the value in our odd table and an even table. Yes, so this is the one of the example. This is the way we can use the cursor. Let me read our new task. This is our new task that we have to perform today. This is our new task. Let me read the task for you. What they are saying is, add a new column to the store table there are multiple operation. It is not only the cursor. We are using the previous lecture concept also here. So one by one, read the line and execute the process. First line says, 58th line says, add a new column to the store table with the name of stock level with the type of varchar 20 and set the value to mid. Okay, this is the thing that we have to provide. This is the default value that we want to keep in our new record. So how can we do? We already have a store table, and in that we want to add a new column. Do you know any command through which we can perform this thing? Yes, we have alter command. So let me use the alter table name. My table name is store, and in this I want to add new column. Add new column with the name of stock level, and in this stock level I want to set a varchar 20 as a default value. We want to set is mid. Okay, mid means medium level. There are three different levels: low, medium and high. Okay, so by default every record will get a medium value. Let me execute this line. It is successfully altered the record. How we can check? We use the describe command. With the help of that we can understand the value is updated or not. Okay, we have created a new column with the name of stock level and the default value is made. Fine. So what is the next task is, we have to create a store procedure with the name of set stock level. This is the name of your store procedure. Okay, this procedure must use the cursor to iterate through every store, and inside the loop, if the stock is less than 20, update its stock level to the low, and if the stock level is greater than 19 and less than 30, stock level should be medium, and otherwise stock level is high. So this is the three criteria that we need to update based on the values. Now you can ask me, ma'am, this is the same thing that we are using in a with the help of case we can do or not? Yes, we can do, but as in this question they have already mentioned that this task we have to perform with the help of the cursor. Yes or no? Please read the question. Here they have already been explained that this is your procedure name, this is your cursor used to operate this thing, and at the last what they are saying is ensure use of the proper cursor, open, fetch, close and not found handler. All these things need to be handled properly, and at the last what you have to do, you have to execute, or you can say call that store procedure and check that the value is been showing in a stock level or not. Fine, these are the things that we will do next. Let me check what was the value inside my store table. Now you already aware what is the value inside my store table, but this is the values. Okay, why they are showing mid? Because we have added this new column and by default value is mid. That's why all the value are mid, but that not been a case after we use the store procedure. Yes or no? So how can you create the cursor for it? That is my question. Let me use the delimiter. Yes, delimiter. I'm using dollar. You can use other character. Fine. Delimiter, then create procedure. They have already mentioned what is the procedure name is set stock level. This is my procedure name. I require a begin and end, and at the end what you want to do, you want to reset your delimiter. Fine. So here we have created a box, and inside this we want to declare some of the thing. What you want to declare first? You want to declare a temporary variable. Yes, what the value you want to set? I'm setting a vs, or you can say variable stock. Fine. And then what is the value of it? It is an integer. Yes. I also require a done flag, and what is the default value of it? The default value is false. What else you want to declare? I want to declare a cursor, but with the name of test cursor or whatever the name you want to provide. Fine, that is not compulsory, it is your choice, whatever the appropriate name you want to set. But here most important part is, here you want to use the associated select query with the cursor. You cannot declare a cursor without the select query. You require a select query. Okay, and here this is not compulsory that only one column value you can use. You can use the 3 column, and when you use the fetch, what will happen? The same order in which order you are mentioned here, and when you use the fetch command, appropriate one first value will fetch in first variable, second column value will be fetch in a second variable. Likewise, you can fetch a multiple column value with the help of a single cursor. Am I clear with this thing? Many times there can be a use case that first name, last name, surname, everything you required. So in that case, what you can do, you can use multiple column. But in our requirement, you only have to fetch a stock value. Fine. So I'm writing stock here. This is the procedure. Yeah. Select stock from a store. Okay. This is the line that you want to attach with this cursor name. After this, what you want to declare? You want to declare continue handler. This is the continue handler, and this handler is for what? It is for not found. Fine. And in not found, if it is found, what you can do, you want to set a cursor value to a true. This is the, if this flag is set with the not found, you want the value of a done to be a true. Fine. This is the way you have to declare your continuous handler. Fine. Without this, you cannot use the cursor because you require a terminating criteria, and that is this. Fine. Okay. After this, what you want to do, you want to open the cursor. Yes. When I say open means you are executing your select query. So whatever the result are there, it will be loaded in your memory when you use the open operator. Fine. After this, you require a one, let's me call the loop one or whatever the name you want to set. Fine. And after this, you want to end the loop. How can you end the loop? With the help of end loop one. This is the line you have to write. Okay, inside this, what you want to do, you want to fetch a data. Fetch. But which cursor data you want to fetch is your test cursor. And to what? Then vs. Vs is your variable stock. Fine. So this stock value will be copied in my v variable v underscore s. Okay. Now, before I operating on this, you require to check the done value is what. How can you check? You use the word if then. If done is equal to true, then you want to leave. What you want to leave? You want to leave the loop one. Fine. Okay, one more thing we will forget, that is your close. Yes. After the loop end, you require to close your, you require to use the test cursor. Okay, this is the good practice. After you use the cursor, you require to close the cursor. Fine. Same way here also. After you execute everything, at the end, before we end the procedure, you require to close your test cursor. Fine. And here it is a end of if. Fine. Now one more thing, if this is not the last record, then what we want to do, we want to check what is the value inside my variable. So if v underscore s is less than 20, then you want to set something. What is you want to set? You want to update a record. You want to update in a store table and set. What you want to set? You want to set. What you want to set? Update store set. You want to set a stock level. Stock level to what? It is a level to low. Okay. We understood this thing or not? Or if vs value is less than 30, then update. What you want to update? You want to update a, sorry, here I require else if. Stock level is equal to mid. And if this is also not a case, what you want to do? If this is not a case, then what you want to do? You want to update a record with the high. Update a stock level is equal to high. Let me check. This is the value, yes or no? Less than 20, less than 30, and if it is other than that, you want to set high. Fine. Till now we have, and here we want to end our if loop. Fine. This is the way we want to update. What we can do, we can use the if else as a ladder, like this. Okay, this is the first ending of a first if, and after this I require one more ending of a loop. Fine. Please make sure, this is the problem that you might occur, that if you are using if inside if, this is the different if, so you require to end this if here and the outer if will end here. Fine. So this is the way we are using our loop. Now one more thing that I want to mention is, this is not the way the update query will work. Here we also need to mention that in which to store ID that we want to update. So what we can do, let me create one more variable name with the store ID, or you can say store key. Fine. What was the type is integer. So when we are fetching the value, we are not only fetching a stock, we are also fetching a store key. Let me check the describe command. This is the name, store key. Okay, this way we want to use our store key, and we want to, in the same way, we want to get the value of store key. Okay, v underscore store key comma v underscore stock. Fine. So these two value have this thing. Now when you are doing this way, you want to set a where store key is equal to your v store key. Please make sure you are having the capital letter or small letter, whatever you are using. So better to copy this thing. Okay, this is the way we have created. Let me execute my procedure. It is successfully created. Let me call this procedure. This is my procedure name. Zero rows affected. Let me check. Oh. Now you can observe the values. It is less than 20, so low. It is not less than 20. It is equal to 20, so it is mid. 33 is higher than 30, so it is high. This is low, this is mid, this is high, this is low. Yes, this is high, this is low. So this all value are updated with the help of our this function call. Fine. And in this function call we use the cursor. I hope they will get more idea about how the cursor can be used and how the use of different scenarios you decide the cursor will be the better choice or not. So this is the educational video. You can taste this thing in your system. Meanwhile, all the best with the practice. Take care. Bye bye.